What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wombo Combo Show. My name is Ben Kepler.
I'm Ben Yukonis.
And special guest today, first time on the podcast, welcome Jeff Jackson.
What's up, guys?
Jeff will be hanging out with us today. Obviously, we're still without Lou. Maybe he didn't make it through customs from Denver. Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe.
I don't know. Haven't heard from him. Hopefully he's okay.
We did. I mean, last time we wished you got held up by customs. But he didn't leave the country.
No, but that's why it'd be weirder than if it happened to him this time, but more probable just because of who he is.
That would be hilarious.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, let's start getting into some football here. We got a lot to cover here today. We're going to go over specifically just the Sunday and Monday games. We obviously, if you guys were tuned in, covered basically everything, Thanksgiving, Black Friday, all that jazz on Saturday. So we're going to break down into this, and then we'll take a look at this Thursday's game, which is an awesome rivalry game between the Green Bay Packers and the Lions. That'll be a fun one. It was hard for me to make my bet for this week. These guys were watching me struggle a couple minutes ago trying to figure out what would happen. But anyways, let's get into it here. Our first game, guys, that we're going to be talking about, if I can get my mouse to work. There it is. We're going to be talking about this AFC South matchup. A lot of drama in this game, guys. A lot of drama. We were kind of talking about this before the game. Obviously,
Before the show.
Before the show, not before the game because it didn't happen yet. Yeah, good call.
Yeah, okay. Just to make sure.
But we were talking about Aziz Al-Shire. I think that's how you pronounce his last name there. But Aziz obviously had that low blow hit. A lot of people were saying it's dirty. A lot of people were saying, hey, you know, it's football. Football used to be like this. Why are you complaining? I wanted to kind of go over with you guys. We kind of talked about it a little bit, but what your opinion was on this. I kind of have an idea, but Ben, do you think that this was a fair play? Do you think that it was purposely trying to injure Trevor Lawrence?
I don't think anyone in the NFL is purposely trying to injure anybody.
Unless you're on the Saints.
Unless you were part of Bountygate, yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I don't necessarily think that he had the intent to hurt him. He's making a football play. Mm-hmm. The problem is he's making a football play that was legal 10 years ago.
And not today. Yeah. I think that we were talking a little bit about it, Jeff, that we think that he could have let up.
Yeah,
that was something that we were talking about there.
Absolutely. I mean, some would say he's excessively aggressive, but, you know, they're a contending team, so I do believe you need some players like this.
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
a team
on your
captain,
team.
too.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Whether it's been going on or an issue or anything like that, he definitely could have. He needs to tune things up just a tiny bit, have some respect.
For sure. I agree with that, too. Aziz is definitely known for having some incidents in the past, whether it was punching people in the face or things of that nature.
This isn't his first time doing something like this, like hitting a guy late.
Yeah. He will be suspended 3 games. That's what they're going with for now.
That's tough.
That's 3-game suspension.
I think that's fair, though.
That is fair.
Absolutely.
So
I think so.
I think that's fair.
Mm-hmm. He's appealing it. Now, that will be looked at by one of a couple different people. Jordy Nelson, Ramon Foster, ex-Steeler Ramon Foster, offensive lineman. And then I think it's Derek Brooks is the other one. Those are the 3 guys who are the judges now for the NFLPA.
Oh,
Pretty
really?
cool, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of those guys will be looking that over in that case. I have a feeling it's not going to be, he's going to be suspended just because of the situation. Trevor Lawrence, not looking like he's going to be playing next week, given that injury. A lot of hits to the head. Don't really necessarily help you out in the department of playing next week. Mac Jones didn't look terrible, though. In this game, let's go into some stats here, guys.
That's what Mac Jones does.
Yeah, I know. Mac Jones in this game. I mean, look at his stats. Not bad. 20 of 32, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. So, I mean, that wasn't terrible. If you look at Trevor's day, he was 4 of 10 for 41 yards and interception. So,
yeah.
I mean, he was vibing out better with the Jags than Trevor was before he got knocked out of the game. Travis Etienne, number 1 back in this game, even with Tank Bigsby in the game. Neither one of them really did all that great. 13 carries for Travis Etienne, 46 yards for him. Tank Bigsby, he had 7 carries for 28. When we're talking about them in the pass game, Travis was used 3 times. He had 3 catches. He had 12 yards. This isn't really all that great. I've got to play him this week. I'm not looking forward to it.
That sucks.
Yeah, he's got to be
really
my flex
sucks.
this week. I'm not happy about it.
Yeah.
Penn State guy Parker Washington with the touchdown, 103 yards, 6 receptions. Wouldn't really necessarily have thought that would have happened. That
No,
was
he had
surprise.
a big day. But I mean, they don't have Kirk.
Yeah, they don't
They
have
lost
Kirk.
for the year. Gabe Davis has been injured all year.
Yeah, he's
I
out
think
as well.
he's out for the rest of the year now too.
And Agnew's not on the team anymore. So,
yeah.
Parker Washington, next man up. He's taking advantage of it. BTJ, a guy that we said that if Trevor was back, you should play him. Trevor didn't play. He still did good. Worked out for us. 4 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown for Brian Thomas Jr. I would consider him maybe top 5 rookies of the season. Yeah. He's the best wide receiver.
Yeah.
He's
top
doing
5.
better than all
He's
the other
top
ones.
5.
Have you watched any of
Yeah,
him?
he's a big time playmaker.
He is
I definitely consider always, putting him up on the
He's
the
fast.
roster. Yep. Yeah,
He's
he
real
is.
fast.
I would put him right at 5th.
At 5th?
Yeah.
Who would be 4th?
4th?
Because I know we got Brock and Nix and Daniels. Would you put Neighbors in front of him?
No, I would put Neighbors at 5, BTJ 6, Brock Bowers, Nix, Daniels.
That's tough.
Okay.
I do like. What? If Neighbors was on a different team,
Way better.
I would consider.
Oh yeah, for sure.
He'd be
But
George
no,
Pickens
yeah,
2.0. Other side of the football, Texans did end up winning this game 23-20. Stroud a little bit better, still sophomore slumping, 22 of 34, 1 touchdown, 242 yards. Joe Mixon last week against the Titans
Had a stinker.
shut down. This week against the Jags, 20 carries for 101 yards and a touchdown, averaging 5 yards a carry. It's pretty decent. He was also using the pass game for 4 catches and 18 yards. Fantasy football-wise, that's pretty dang good. Nico Collins, no touchdowns, but came back alive. Officially back.
Yeah,
8 catches, 119 yards. Pretty dang good day. Dalton Schultz was the other lead wide receiver in this game. Obviously a tight end, but he had 5 receptions. He had 61 yards and a touchdown on the left side of the field. Tank Dell, stinker of a year, man.
Yeah.
He's just having a stinker of a year. Tank Dell last year, really good in fantasy football. Did you see any of his plays before he got injured last year? He used to be like this deep streaking guy. This year, they don't even use him. I don't really know if that's necessarily his fault or C.J. Stroud's slump's fault, but they're both kind of having a big sophomore slump simultaneously.
Yeah, no, like at the same time. But I think it's more because of C.J. Stroud's
For sure.
down year.
For sure. It's a
is
reactive
the reason
stat.
for Tank Dell. So
Yeah, we're going to hope that CJ can pull it together for the rest of the seasons for Texans fans because they are pushing for the playoffs, but they don't look very remarkable on any aspect of anything. Like, I don't think their defense looks amazing. I don't think their offense looks amazing. Joe Mixon is basically everything other than Nico.
no, they're the
Yeah,
best
they're
team and
definitely
probably
sizzling out.
Yeah.
they're the best team in probably what's the worst division in football.
Yeah. Worst division in the AFC
AFC at least.
because both South divisions, AFC and NFC, are kind of stinkers.
Yeah, it's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I heard C.J. Stroud's dating Amber Rose.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually heard
I
that
think
too.
I've seen something like that.
I actually heard
That
that
don't
too.
sound too great.
Maybe
of news,
that's
but-
why. Because remember, Wiz Khalifa's music, I feel like it went downhill for a minute while he was with Amber, and then it came back. CJ, dump that girl. Let's move on to the next game. Next game here. I called this as an upset. It almost was. Anthony Richardson punches in the 2-point conversion in the last seconds of the game after scoring that touchdown. Pretty awesome game. Let's go over the Colts stats first. Anthony Richardson still doesn't look that great. I don't want to praise him too much. He's looking like a Cam Newton in the sense of he can run the ball a little bit, but when it comes to basketball, extremely inaccurate. Extremely.
Yeah, no, he hasn't shown that he can be accurate at all this season.
He looks scared in the pocket a little.
Yeah, I mean, I think they knew that, though. He was raw talent coming into the league, and you were definitely taking a big risk. It's just, again, I think it's on the management to surround the right type of people around this guy and not
100%.
leave it so much up to him.
Right.
Yeah.
For Anthony Richardson, they need pieces around him. Obviously, like Jeff just said, coming out of Florida, he had only played there for one season? Right? Started for one
Something
season?
like that.
Yeah,
Something that?
he only started
Like
1
12
year.
games or
Yeah.
something like that. So, yeah, Anthony Richardson doesn't have a lot of tape. He's got a lot of talent. They need to hone it in. They need to figure out how to use it. That's the problem with the Colts right now. That's why they went and got Shane Steichen off of the Eagles and made him the head coach, was to build a quarterback in an elite offense.
Yeah.
So, he's still working
So,
on it.
and you think his assistant coaches, like the quarterback coach, would
Do something.
help along in this process?
Yeah.
So, but
Colts aren't the greatest at picking out coaches. They had Jeff Saturday last year as a head coach for a short period of time. So
yeah, I just saw, just real quick. I forget who said it. It was an ex-player.
okay,
It was like organizations or players, or organizations fail players before players fail the organization.
Oh, 100%. The only time that I really think players have failed the organization would be like Jamarcus Russell and maybe like Johnny Football. Other than that, like if you're put in a bad situation, you can't do well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
Stats for Anthony Richardson, I was saying, not very accurate. 50% in this game, 12 of 24. He had 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, only 109 yards. He did run 9 times for 48 yards and a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Fantasy-wise, that's pretty dang good. With all those yards and all those touchdowns. However, if you're looking at it in a football perspective, Colts may be pushing for a playoff spot, but it doesn't look too.
They ain't gonna get
it doesn't
there.
look too good.
They ain't gonna get there.
Jonathan Taylor came back alive in this game, guys. 25 carries, 96 yards. The average is 3.8 a carry, which isn't amazing, but he also caught a touchdown on his only catch for 7 yards. That kind of saved his day. But, I mean, getting elite usage at 25 carries there. No other running back touched the ball in this game for the Colts. Receiving-wise, we had Michael Pittman Jr., most yards. There wasn't, I mean, with the fact that he only threw 100 yards, there isn't a lot to talk about in their passing game. Pittman, 42 yards on 5 catches. That was the highlight. Alex Pierce did play in this game, even though injured. 2 catches, 16 yards, and a touchdown. That's the Alex Pierce way of doing things, right? I mean, this Alex Pierce, do you know who he is?
Yeah.
He played for Cincinnati.
Yep.
He either comes out and has like 190 yards and it's all in the end of the football game, or does nothing at all. And there we go. Happens again. Did he catch the game-winning touchdown? I don't remember who caught the game-winning touchdown.
Either.
I think it was Jonathan Taylor. Anyways, other side of the football, we got Drake May, number 3 draft pick in this year's draft, or number 3. Anyways,
He was the 3rd quarterback taken.
this guy was accurate. He looks good.
I like him.
I think he looks pretty good. I just think he doesn't have any, like that offense doesn't have a single name on it that's worth, like helping him out as a rookie player. You got Ramondre Stevenson, Hunter Henry. That's about all they got. Everybody else is young and kind of unmolded yet.
I think that sometimes can help, a young quarterback when you're not getting the expectations aren't too high, and you have good, management that's going to be able to lay a base ground for you, So
yeah, all lost C.J. Stroud last year.
Yep,
getting
absolutely.
D'Amico Ryans and that new team and everything. Yeah,
I think they're patient with the process with him. So
for sure, and I think their head coach Gerard Mayo, who is a diehard Patriot.
Yeah,
I
like
lifetime.
Gerard Mayo.
Me too. Me too. I think that he'll get this turned around. His defense doesn't look bad. He just needs some players on offense.
Yep.
Drake May, 24 of 30, like I said, real accurate. 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 238 yards. Not bad. He also ran 5 times for 59 yards. Pretty decent fantasy.
He can run
day.
a little bit. Jeez.
Yeah, he's kind of like Josh Allen.
Oh.
To be honest, he's stocky. Ramondre, 18 for 73, no touchdowns on the ground. He did catch the ball 3 times for 21. Pretty decent day. Hunter Henry was the best player in fantasy football in this game when it comes to people who are skill players. He had 7 catches, 75 yards. That's 14.5 PPR. Not bad. I benched him. Wasn't happy about it. Crazy stat here is Austin Hooper, who didn't exist for like the last 2.5 years. You remember Austin Hooper?
Yep.
Used to be a big name. Went from the Atlanta Falcons up to the Cleveland Browns. And everyone was like, oh, man, they just paid Austin Hooper all this money. He duds out. Somehow he ends up on the Patriots. Didn't even know he was there. He has 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks, 42 yards in this game with 4 receptions. I still don't suggest picking up Austin Hooper if you're in fantasy football.
No. He can be left on waiver wire.
Yeah. Patriots are obviously in rebuilding mode. Colts trying to push for that playoff spot like we spoke about. Just don't see it really working out. Here's another team pushing for playoff spots here. This was the Chargers. They headed down to ATL to take on the Atlanta Falcons. Do you remember who you took in this game?
I took the Falcons.
Yeah, no,
I only took the Falcons
'Cause
just
I took
to
the
be
Chargers.
different from you.
Yes.
So, like...
It bit you in the butt, didn't it? No. Taking a look at this game, guys. Real defensive game by the Chargers. That's how they won this football game. Justin Herbert, 16 of 23, 147 yards. He did not have a passing touchdown. He also didn't have an interception. They used J.K. Scott, which is the kicker, on a fake punt, too. I don't know if you caught that in the game, but it was pretty cool.
No, I didn't.
He was
didn't
short,
see really
but,
any of this game.
yeah, because there wasn't a lot of highlights with the score being 17-13.
Yeah, no.
You know?
I mean, but Justin Herbert threw for 147 yards. Scroll down
Yeah.
real quick.
They're all
Lad
Lad
McConkey
McConkeys.
had 117.
They were all Lad McConkey. He did twist his ankle or something in this game. He's questionable for this week.
Yeah, he did. He finished the game, though.
He finished the game?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, Lad, 9 receptions, 117 yards in this game, guys. Nobody else, just like Ben mentioned, nobody else has stats to even mention on the Chargers team.
Literally, nobody.
Gus Edwards was the fill-in running back, and Kamani Vidal, 6 rushes for 32, 4 rushes for 20. Neither of these guys put up any kind of numbers against a Falcons defense that is not great against the run. Looking at the Falcons, Kirko, he's hit an all-time bottom here.
Well, he's doing exactly what Kirk Cousins does.
He has a bunch of good games and
He
a
has,
bunch of
he
terrible
ha-
ones.
he'll have great games, and then he'll have awful games. And
Yeah,
he had
this
an awful
wasn't
game.
too good for Kirk.
No.
I mean,
Do you like him as a quarterback?
you know what? When he broke the scene, you couldn't help but pay attention to him. He's
Right.
a gunslinger, and he was putting some points up, especially for fantasy. So I would have encouraged anybody picking him up. Nowadays, I mean, this is what you get. You're gonna get a couple games like this, and
I think he ended up with 2 points in fantasy.
Yeah,
after
it
all
wasn't,
those interceptions.
it wasn't good.
Yeah, he was 24-39, 245 yards, guys. 4 picks.
Yeah.
4 picks for
Ouch.
Kirko.
Big ouch.
Kirk is a big upgrade for all those wide receivers on that team, but he has been trending down the last couple weeks. He takes on the Vikings this week. Gets his revenge game this week. So we'll see if he can maybe turn it around. If it's in primetime, I highly doubt it because Kirk is known for pooping the bed in primetime.
I don't believe it is in prime time. I
think
don't know the Sunday night game, but the Monday night game is Bengals and Cowboys.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh, they should flex that out. Bijan was the best player on the Falcons side of the football. 26 carries, 102 yards, 1 touchdown. He also caught the ball 6 times for 33 yards, guys. Bijan was the number 1 play in this game. Number 2 play was Ray
Ray.
McLeod. Man, I don't know if you've watched any of Ray, but he's like their all utility player.
yeah, I
He does
mean,
their kick returns. He's their slot guy. Like,
I being a Steelers fan here, I loved Ray. I think we loved Ray as a team, and we just couldn't afford to keep him.
Definitely not.
But he's obviously a tremendous talent, speed receiver, and again, right now they're using him as a gadget type of player. He can kind of do it all for them. So
yeah,
credit to him.
absolutely. Drake London, also a decent game, guys. He had 9 catches, 86 yards. That's 17.6 in PPR leagues. That's pretty dang decent. Other than that, though, not much to talk about with the Falcons-Chargers game, especially on the Chargers side. Man, bunch of duds over there this week. Next game we're going to talk about here. This game was exciting.
This game was kind of boring up until
The second half.
the second half.
But the second half was really
Right.
fun because of the score change. That's why. Did you know that Geno Smith is, I think, number 3 or 4 in the NFL in yards right now? Mm-hmm. I think that's crazy.
Did not know that.
Yeah, right? Taking a look at the Seahawks stats here. This was the Seahawks and the New York Giants, if I didn't mention that yet. I don't think I did.
Jets.
What did I say? Giants?
Giants, yeah.
Nah, falling
New
apart
York
early.
Jets.
Falling apart. Anyways, guys, this was the revenge game for Geno Smith. He had 1 touchdown in this game through the air. He was 20 of 31 for 206 yards, no interceptions. Big dud of the day for me, just watching this game and playing against him, was K9. Kenneth Walker got shut down.
Yeah, I
all
thought
day.
I thought he would have a bigger day against
Me
the Jets.
too, especially after you seen what Najee did against them, and they're kind of the same power running back. 16 carries, 49 yards, averaging 3 a carry. Kenneth Walker did not do that great.
Zach Charbonnet won't go away.
Yeah, Zach Charbonnet hasn't gone away. He's actually come back into the fray. He had 4 carries for 28 yards and a touchdown in this one, guys. He also was used twice in the pass game for 13 yards. That's more usage than Zach Charbonnet's probably had in the last 3 weeks, and he took advantage of it. I still don't suggest playing him in fantasy football. JSN, probably the most athletic, best player on this team.
Yeah.
I know that Metcalf is on this team, but that's really saying something. He
So,
had 4
but
receptions, 74 yards.
Is JSN their best wide receiver?
Yeah, he's more complete as a receiver, I would say. A little more polished up. And again, I don't want to take anything from DK. As of right now, I think DK is a better receiver, absolutely. But you see a higher ceiling with JSN.
Yeah.
Right.
For
Long-
sure.
So we all have
long-term.
that same
Yeah,
opinion.
absolutely.
So
They're
But I
also
love
very
DK
different.
too. Yeah.
They're different wide receivers.
Yep.
You know, DK is a go up and get it guy, whereas JSN is a route runner.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So
I mean, to have both of them is awesome.
elite,
Oh, yeah,
elite.
sure.
And then your backup guy is Tyler Lockett.
who's
and Noah
nothing to
Fant.
sneeze at either.
Yeah.
Like
Both those guys are pretty decent as well. They have a good makeup up there in Seattle. Geno Smith kind of always seems like he's a sore thumb in that situation, but being top 3 in the league in passing yards and also winning the division right now by 1 game, can't complain really. A guy named A.J. Barner was their touchdown scorer. He had 2 catches for 14 yards and a touchdown. He looks to be some sort of tight end that has never been used before.
Yeah.
I know nobody used him. DK Metcalf, he had 4 catches for 66. Didn't want to leave him out there. Taking a look at the Jet side of the football, is Aaron Rodgers getting benched, man?
They said he's going to remain the starter
Do you think he should be
for
benched
this
here?
week.
I'm not too sure. And I'm glad to not be in a situation, these type of situations that these organizations put themselves in
Oh, my
because
goodness.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. I mean, gave him the keys, and
Same thing.
what
as
do
Deshaun
you
Watson.
do right now?
Yeah. You're locked in with him. You have him. You owe him a bunch of money. You built the team around him, and now he's the failing piece.
When even went and got his boy Adams from
And
the
Lazard.
Raiders. And signed and had Lazard. Well, they had Lazard last year too.
Yeah, true.
But like, he's how old is he now? 41, 40?
41 to something like
40?
that. 39.
Yeah, he's
older than
this
us.
is what happens. They you play for so long, you hit a wall.
Think he plays next season?
It's tough.
Maybe not for
I
the
think
Jets?
I think he might. Yeah, maybe not for the Jets, but I think he still plays.
Me too. I think he ends up somehow following the Brett Favre path and ends up on the Vikings somehow. Just in my bones, I feel like that's going to happen.
It could.
Yeah, it definitely could. Aaron Rodgers in this game, 21 of 39, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dude, first half, Jets were rolling. 21 points in the first half. Guess how many they had in the second half?
Zero.
They had no points. They absolutely fell apart. Brees Hall was questionable to play in this game. He ended up playing in this game. He had 12 carries, 60 yards. When it comes to the pass game, he wasn't used at all. Braylon Allen was the passing back. Braylon Allen had 5 carries, only 11 yards. He caught 2 balls for 16. Not really worth mentioning that much. Isaiah Davis ended up scoring a touchdown, and Devontae Adams.
It's mind-boggling to me why Brees Hall is not the focal point of this offense.
Me too. Why are the two young guys here? Not even just Brees Hall. You have Garrett. Well, you know who Garrett Wilson is, right?
Absolutely.
Garrett Wilson is ridiculously good at football, and yet we wanted to go get Devontae Adams to make him the focal point of the passing game. You could have went and got somebody else who was a lower tier guy, and made him and Brees the focal points of the offense, and they would have been way better. I think the Devontae Adams trade actually ended up being hurtful for the whole entire team because it handed too many of the keys over to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
know
is.
what I
I mean, looking at this kind of is more of a knock towards Aaron because you got all these weapons here now, and again, you just need more and more and more to produce what So
Nothing. That's
Nothing,
exactly
yeah.
right. He has more tools on his team than any of the other quarterbacks do in the NFL, other than maybe Brock Purdy, who lost all of them this week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the only person I can think who has more utility players than Aaron Rodgers. We'll move on from this game, guys. I think that the Jets are absolutely cooked. They might as well just hang it up for the season. Throw Tyrod Taylor in there.
sell the team.
Yeah, Woody, sell the team. I agree with you, man. Just like the Pirates, sell the team. If your fans aren't happy with you, sell the team. Anyways, next game we're going to talk about here. This is the Titans and the Washington Commanders. Commanders really needed to get back on track after losing 3 straight games, and
They
they
did in a
sure
big
did.
way.
They sure did. First quarter, 21 points. 21 points in the first quarter. My boy Jaden Daniels, he's great.
He's awesome.
He is really good.
Yeah.
I don't think he is like I don't consider him like Michael Vick, and I don't consider him like Lamar Jackson. Both, like running style running backs. I think of him more as like RG3.
Yeah, I honestly, took the words out of my mouth. I mean, it's still early. He still has time to develop to kind of figure out, but he has a lot of good pocket presence. He's obviously athletic. Going into the draft, he was my first choice,
Okay.
to be honest, yeah.
Okay. And I can see why. Heisman winner, has legs. Caleb Williams, just not as flashy as he is. Jaden Daniels, 25 of 30, great accuracy in this game, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. He also ran for a touchdown. There was a lot of running touchdowns in this game. There was a lot of touchdowns in this game, 42-19 for the Commanders. Brian Robinson Jr. went off. He went off.
Yeah.
103 yards, a touchdown. He had 16 carries. I believe it was in the pass. No, it wasn't in the pass game he was used. It must have just been one of them long runs that I remember because Brian Robinson Jr. had a really
Or
big
like
run
a
in this
swing
game.
pass that was a backwards pass.
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
It could be. It's considered a run. Yeah, for sure. Chris Rodriguez, who came up off of the practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what a game did he have as well. 13 carries, 94 yards, and a touchdown. Both of these guys killed it. Taking a look at the passing game, you had Scary Terry, who did great in this game.
Yeah.
He had 8 catches for 73 yards, 2 touchdowns. And you also had Zach Ertz. Somebody we've been highlighting is going to be a good tight end for fantasy football. Zach Ertz still got juice, dude.
Yeah, you do.
Do you
Yeah.
see him catch that ball in the back of the end zone a couple
No,
weeks ago?
I did not catch that. No.
It was awesome. But
Oh,
they still
against
lost
Philly.
against Philly.
Yeah, against
they
Philly.
still lost. But, yeah, Zach Ertz still got that juice. I consider him probably a top 10, top 12 tight end for fantasy football rest of the season. Taking a look at the other side of the football, Will Levis, Mr. Mayonnaise, he was 18 of 37, 212 yards, 2 touchdowns. A little over 50%, but not very good for Will Levis.
No,
Nothing he does is impressive.
no, he's not the guy.
He also makes so many strange faces when he's playing football and on the sideline and stuff. You're just like, this guy's so clowny. He's such a clown. Anyways, taking a look at this game, how about Westbrook Akine?
I know, dude. Like, you immediately texted me after his first touchdown, and then you did it again after his second one. And it's just like, but like, he's not a dependable fantasy wide receiver at all.
His
Like-
statistics. So we said this guy, we're like, he ain't nobody. And he's been on the team for 3 years. He's in his 4th year this year. Do you know who Westbrook Akine is?
I've heard his name, but yeah, I definitely
So-
don't follow him.
Mason Rudolph comes in at quarterback for them for a couple weeks. This guy starts catching a touchdown every game that Mason Rudolph is the starting quarterback. Will Levis comes back in. He catches a 98-yard touchdown last week. He's got 2 touchdowns this week. He's a no-name guy, and he's just blowing up for no reason on a weekly basis. Might be, a star in the making. You know what I mean? The diamond in the rough.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, true. Antonio
Yeah.
Brown
Yeah.
didn't come
Antonio
together
Brown
until
story. Yeah, you know.
Yep, his
That's very
third
true.
year, that's when he took off.
as soon as Mike Wallace was out.
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah, basically.
While he was there,
The
last-
last,
yeah.
that off season, yeah, it was.
Taking a look at running yards for this game, guys, on the one side of the football had 2 guys almost get 100 rushing yards, and
And-
all 3 guys have a touchdown. This side didn't even have a guy go over 40 yards rushing.
No.
Tony Pollard, 8 rushes, 35 yards. Tajay Spears doesn't exist. Not even worth mentioning.
no.
Will Levis had some negative yards.
They
Other
had
than
35 rushing yards total.
Yeah, total. Total in the game, 35 rushing yards. Terrible. Westbrook Akine is the only one really to mention on their offense that did all that great. Tony had a couple catches, but I mean, let's be honest, they weren't very. 4 for 33 doesn't save the fact he had 35 yards on the ground. Calvin Ridley has cooled back off, which is kind of expected. Our boy Tyler Boyd from Pittsburgh. Man, you should have came here. You should have came here. You made the wrong choice. You should have taken the pay cut and been on a winning team. Now you're stuck in Tennessee with a bunch of losers. Anyways, next game. This is a good one. This is the one we want to talk about the most.
Yeah, we
got
do.
time to talk about this one.
Let Russ cook.
Yeah, dude. Let Russ cook. We were just talking about Aaron Rodgers a second ago and how they built the team around him, and they're failing. Do we all notice the Steelers did not build the team around Russ? That's not
Yeah,
how this
no,
went down.
No.
We had
Well,
this.
we had pieces in place. One of the things we needed was a quarterback.
Right. That's the
So-
way that it should be done. If you're going to bring a veteran in, you should kind of like when Tom Brady went down to Tampa. You should already have everything there.
Yeah.
You need one more piece.
If that's how you're going to do it, get a quarterback via free agency. You want to have pieces there
Yeah.
already for them to come here.
It entices them to come there as well. When they benched Justin Fields and put Russell Wilson in, what was your opinion on that, Jeff?
I wasn't skeptical, but I definitely I'm a Mike Tomlin fan. I trust the management and what they're doing. I think if you needed to pick a time to give Russ a chance, that was a time.
He did pick the best.
Before we hit by. Before you still need to just see a few things, and he made the right call.
100%. I also am a big Mike Tomlin fan. I know a lot of Steelers fans are 50-50, wishy-washy about Mike Tomlin. I think he's the greatest. I don't think his time management going into halftime is very good, and his ability to not use the first half timeouts I'm not a big fan of. But other than that, I love him.
My biggest thing with him is, I think people get caught up on the coach's job and what they can instill into the game. And they could be gurus, offensive gurus, defensive gurus, and they can have a big impact. But your players are still playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The best thing you can have is a player coach, a motivator. And it shows,
Bring
again,
out the
that
best.
last win, it brings no-name teams, which we should have been for the past couple of years, up into
relevancy.
Yeah, exactly.
No, absolutely.
I know
I
they
agree
hate
with you.
that,
So,
but
I mean, I always, every time I had more of a motivating type coach, I always played better.
yeah,
100%. 100%. That
For
one
my short football
The one who
career.
taps you on the shoulder. Yeah, for sure. Taking a look at stats for Russell Wilson in this game, he had great stats. 29 of 38, 414 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Najee Harris, 16 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Guy that we didn't see a lot of in this game.
No,
Jaylen Warren.
yeah, dude, that blew my mind. I was
too.
like, once you said that, I was like, I didn't see a lot of Jaylen Warren at all.
No.
Like,
They ran Cordell Patterson on the normal plays that they would play Jaylen Warren. He was the change of pace back, and Jaylen Warren was just a passing back. He had 4 catches for 55 yards, and he had 3 runs for 9. But you expected him to get he has had 10 carries the last couple games.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm a big Jaylen Warren fan. I like him as a change of pace back for the Steelers. I think him and Najee are one of the best pairs in the entire league. So, it's a little disappointing for me to see him use less. I do like Cordell Patterson, too. I can't really complain. The guy runs hard.
Yeah, I like Cordell too, but
runs
I
hard.
agree with you. I do like the running back duo. I don't want to lose Najee, and they definitely need to keep on feeding these guys. I think that's the reason we lost the Ravens game, or I'm sorry, the Browns game, is we kind of got away from the running game.
100%. 100%. We had the running backs to play through that snow.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
That's their game.
George Pickens pretty decent in this game, guys. Wouldn't stop mouthing off. Needs to grow up a little bit. We've been saying that week over week. No other star running back is shooting guns up in the air and making all kinds of calamity after he makes a 14-yard catch. Like, come on. Relax. You don't need to do that.
yeah, I mean, he will.
He's costing the team.
I think he
That's
will.
the problem. I think he will, too. I just think that he needs to realize the repercussions of what a small action like that can do. Because his 38-yard catch now is a 20-yard catch because he got a 15-yard personal foul. And he got a personal foul that would be considered ejectable on the next one.
So that was his first penalty. Yeah.
So, George, like we said in week 2, we said this before. Please, dog, just grow up. Just be an adult. You can be as ridiculous NFL young boy as you want. When the game is over, please just don't get any more penalties. Anyways, moving on. Pat Freiermuth, 6 catches, 68 yards, and a touchdown. His touchdown was nice.
Yeah. Today, Sunday was about Frymouth.
He's been a good security blanket for Russ throughout the entire process here.
Both tight ends have, really. I mean, we didn't see anything from Washington this week, I don't think. But
no, but I do like Washington a lot.
Yeah.
If they utilized him more at the goal line, I think it would be next level.
Yeah, I love. Can you imagine Big Ben with these two?
Yeah,
tight ends?
I know.
I loved Heath Miller, obviously legend, but Pat is super athletic, and Darnell. I mean, it's tremendous talent.
Yeah, he's the tallest guy on the field.
You got to
Sucks
feed him a few times. Give him at least 3 targets a game.
100%, 100%, because he's so hard to tackle to begin with that even if he is lined up with like your outside linebacker or maybe your nickel safety, he's gonna bowl them over.
Yeah, to throw a screen pass to him. As a cornerback, you do not want to run up against this dude.
No,
and
you
he's
hit
trying
his
to
legs.
hurdle you in the first place. So
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is trying to hurdle too.
So-
6'8" and trying to jump over people. We like Darnell Washington.
Yeah, I love him.
I also like this guy, Calvin Austin III. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
He got smacked on his first catch.
He did leave the game
with concussion.
with a concussion.
Yep, he did catch a touchdown though before doing so. I like him as not for a fantasy look, but as a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I think that Calvin Austin is a nice slot wide receiver. Let's take a look at the Bengals side of things because isn't it crazy how bad they are on defense?
Oh, they're terrible.
Joe Burrow.
They're terrible.
Joe Burrow could throw 10 touchdowns. They're still going to lose the football game. He had 38 attempts, 28 completions, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, 2 fumbles, and 309 yards passing. Pretty decent day, all things said, for Joe Burrow.
I mean,
his stats, he ended up with 20 points fantasy.
Yeah. So, I mean, this offense runs through him. Mm-hmm. This whole team does.
Yeah, Chase
So,
Brown's been good too, though.
I mean, when they face a defense like the Steelers that can slow them down a little bit, they're in trouble.
I would say this, that watching this game and watching the Bengals and Ravens games, Bengals and Ravens games, the Ravens had to outscore the Bengals in order to win.
Yes.
The Steelers were just winning and keeping their lead. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a different vibe to the game. It wasn't back
early
and forth.
on, it was back and forth.
Yeah, first quarter.
So, and then our defense was
Took
the thing
over.
that took over the game.
Yeah, I think that our defense is probably built well enough to take us pretty far into the playoffs in comparison to other teams' defenses. Do you agree?
Absolutely.
I
I
think-
mean, I
absolutely.
think with a little bit, if our offense can sustain, what it has, the momentum going into next year, and finish strong this year, we, look out, definitely some super contenders.
Mm-hmm. I think so too.
So-
Maybe this year it's a little. I could see us better off with another wide receiver. Did you like getting Williams?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we needed one. It showed, and I wanted one just so everybody could stop,
Talking
crying
about
about
it.
it and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah, right.
But again, it's clear because you don't want all the attention on George Pickens. So
Exactly.
he definitely needs a little bit of help there.
Yeah, and Williams definitely, as much as he isn't getting any targets right now, he definitely is pulling people off when he is in the game.
Right.
I was also very wrong about both running backs for my prediction on Saturday.
Oh yeah, you said
Remember,
they
I
weren't
was
going
like,
to
I
go
don't
off.
like any running back from this game.
Yeah.
And they both had over 70 yards and a touchdown.
Chase Brown, like he said, 70 yards and a touchdown, 12 carries, guys. Both wide receivers, star wide receiver. Actually, all three of their wide receivers did well. Jamar Chase, he had 6 catches for 86 yards and a touchdown. You had T. Higgins, 5 catches, 69 yards and a touchdown. And then you had Iovanis also catch a touchdown towards the end. of the game.
Yoshi
Or Yoshi Vosh. Man, I thought I had
Yoshi
it.
Vosh.
Yoshi Vosh. He had
Yeah,
3
I know.
catches.
It's
It's a hard
pronounced
one.
completely the opposite of what it looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Mike Gesicki did have some yards, guys. I don't suggest picking him back up. I think he is a wash for the year. Unfortunately, so are the Bengals. Moving into the next game, this game was a tight one throughout. This was a good game. This was the Arizona Cardinals taking on the Minnesota Vikings in Minnesota. Kyler Murray, 31 of 45, one touchdown, 2 interceptions, 260 yards. Not the greatest game out of Kyler. Not very consistent in his gameplay the last couple of weeks. James Conner, 17 carries, 68 yards. I think James was using. Yeah, he was. He was used 3 times in the air. Wow, I can't talk right now.
Yeah.
3 catches for 13 yards for James
can do
Conner.
it.
I can do it. The big guy again, and this was the same deal last week. Was Trey McBride. Their tight end is ridiculous.
Yeah,
he is the focal point of their offense. He's kind of like a Travis Kelce-esque or a Brock Bowers when it comes to the numbers he puts up. 12 receptions for McBride. He had 96 yards. That's freaking awesome. MHJ also had a decent day. He had 5 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown. Outside of that, you had Michael Wilson, who had 1 ridiculous catch that got him a bunch of yards. It was off a deflection, one of those like off the helmet slot wide receivers, and then flies into the backfield.
Yes, I remember seeing that.
Yeah. So other than that, not much to talk about on the Cardinals side of the football. They did lose this game by 1. Looking at the other side of the football, this was the quarterback that I played this week, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, 21 of 31, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Aaron Jones did not do good on the ground. However, I believe he had the game-winning touchdown, so he kind of saved his day.
Yeah, he did. He was having a bad day
He was having a
until
bad
that
day.
touchdown.
He only got 5 carries for 22 yards. He caught 3 balls for 6 yards and had a touchdown. I believe he fumbled as well. Not the greatest day for Aaron Jones. Saved his day on that. Justin Jefferson, 7 catches, 99 yards. Kind of got back into the flow. He wasn't very good last week. Kind of was deleted out of the offense. But this week,
Yeah.
he's doing great. 7 receptions, 99 yards. You had Jordan Addison, who kind of cooled off after his big game. He had 4 catches for 54 yards. And Johnny Munt was the other touchdown catcher in this game. He's the backup tight end. Other than that, not a lot to talk about. Vikings need the Detroit Lions to lose this week in order to have a chance to get up there into the first spot in the NFC North, which has the best record in the entire NFL right now.
Yeah, the
They're
Lions.
good.
The Lions are 11-2. Vikings are 10-2 or 11-1. The Lions are 11-1. Vikings are 10-2, and Green Bay is 9-3.
Yep. They're all really good.
And then you have the Bears.
Yeah, and then you have
4-0.
the Bears. The Bears falling apart. This next game we're going to talk about, guys, had a couple injuries in it. I did want to mention this was the Los Angeles Rams taking on the New Orleans Saints in New Orleans. Taysom Hill has blown his ACL.
Yeah, I saw that late Sunday
out.
night. I was.
That sucks.
He's done.
Yeah, he's 34 years old. There's small chance that this might be his last season, unfortunately.
Maybe.
Given the type of player
Possibly.
he is, you know what I mean? Taysom Hill, he's like a utility guy.
Yeah,
Can't really
that's
get
a
blown
tough
knees.
loss. I don't see him, and if he does, maybe they figure something out,
I would see him as if he comes back, he would have to have less of a running back tight end role and more
Absolutely,
of a quarterback
yeah.
role. You know what I mean? Let's take a look at these stats here. We'll start with the Saints, who ended up losing this game. Derek Carr still starting at quarterback for the Saints. He was 24-37, 184 yards and a touchdown. Doesn't look that great. Best player on this team is clear. We all know who the best player is.
It's been Alvin Kamara.
It's been
for
Alvin
years.
Kamara for years. Alvin Kamara, 23 carries, 112 yards rushing. Alvin Kamara puts those something close to those type of numbers up every single week. He had 4 catches for 7 yards. Wasn't really very good in the pass game. Most of this was dump offs.
No.
Taysom Hill, number 1 wide receiver in this game, ended up getting injured. Like we said, he had 5 catches for 37 yards. He also ran 5 times, only got 10 yards there. Marquez Valdez-Scantling got another touchdown. I said the same thing.
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. We said that every week we're like, nah, it's over. He won't get it. He's like Westbrook Akine we talked about a little bit ago. Every single week we're like, it's got to end now. It's got to be the last week that he's good. No. He's had a touchdown, I think, almost every game since he's became a Saint.
I think you're right.
Yeah. He's been doing pretty well. And if not, he's at over 100 yards. I don't think I covered the Rams when I clicked off of that game.
All of his games have been like 3 catch. Well, I think he went over 100 once. But it's like 3 catches, 100 yards, touchdowns.
Yep.
2 catches, 50-some yards, touchdown. Like
whatever. They needed a wide receiver with Chris Olave out with his severe concussions.
Shaheed.
And Shaheed, yeah. So he's filling in the void. MVS, good job, man. We didn't believe in you, and we'll admit it. We didn't believe in you.
I still don't.
Yeah, he still doesn't believe in you.
Fantasy-wise.
I'm
Just
starting to.
fantasy-wise. He's a good receiver, but fantasy-wise, I don't trust him at all.
Yeah, he's fast. He doesn't have hands. When he played for both the Chiefs and the Packers, all I remember about MVS is being deep.
Yep.
The ball's there. He drops it. Other side of the football, Rams. Stafford. He has an ankle sprain. He's going to play. He said it's not serious, but it is something to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's going to slow him down a little bit in the pocket.
Yeah.
He was 14-24. 183 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. The guy who dudded out in this game was Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, he had a big dud.
He had a big dud. He had 3 catches for 17 yards. He was used in the red zone. They tried to get it to him. He was locked down. Number 1 guy, and we kind of said this last week, that we trust Puka more. Puka is the more trustable wide receiver. He had 5 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. Mr. DUI, Demarcus Robinson, 2 catches, 49 yards and a touchdown. Not really sure what's going on with that situation with him, but
well, that's where he's best.
Well, no, I mean like with him getting suspended. I don't think he's getting suspended.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because
he got arrested last game. The last game they lost, he got drunk and got arrested.
Mr. DUI. Okay, yeah.
But other than that, the other thing that I wanted to spotlight in this game is Blake Corum is starting to get used more in the run game. He had 8 carries in this game for 42 yards. It's pretty good, 5 yards a carry. But I think that really juiced up Kyron again. It gave him time to be off the field, get a breath, and come back in. Kyron, 15 carries, 104 yards and a touchdown. That's almost 7 yards a carry, and that's pretty dang good, guys. I would suggest maybe putting Demarcus Robinson on your bench in your fantasy league if you don't already have him. He seems to thrive in the role of being number 3.
Oh yeah, that's where he thrives. When
Just seems like that's his role.
When he's playing behind Cooper and Puka,
and then in the red zone. That's his thing. Next game we're going to talk about, guys. This one was a close one. Went to overtime. You seen Baker get destroyed on a play. He came back in. This was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Carolina Panthers in Carolina. This is probably the most people I've ever seen in the stands of a Carolina Panthers game in the last 20 years. Baker Mayfield, 21-33, 235 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. He got injured, and that's why Kyle Trask came into the game. But he came back because he's Baker
that's
Mayfield,
what he does.
And he is a G. The big player in this game that I wanted to talk about was Bucky Irving.
Killed it.
Dude went off. 25 carries, 152 yards on the ground and a touchdown. He also had another 33 through the air, and he had some return yards as well.
Yep, gotta love it.
He's crazy. And that's not to say that he didn't split the backfield, because he did. He split the backfield with Rachaad White. Rachaad White had 11 carries for 76 yards, and he only had 1 catch, but he was in there a lot. Rachaad White was in there for a lot of the game. Mike Evans, fully back, Mike Evans style. 8 catches, 118 yards, and a touchdown. That's what you expect out of Mike Evans.
So, this was his first time going over 100 yards this year.
Is it? Oh, wow. I think this is going to be the first year in Mike Evans' career that he is not going to eclipse 1,000 yards. I think he's on a streak of so many years of having 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he's got to have Like the rest of the way down the stretch, he's got to have basically like
125 a game or something.
no, more like 80, 90.
Oh, okay. Okay, so doable for him. Sterling Shepard, not high school, but college teammate of Baker Mayfield, was the number 2 wide receiver in this game. 4 catches, 42 yards. Other than that, ball was kind of spread around a lot. Not a good day for Cade Otton, 4 catches, 20 yards. That's who I played as my tight end this week. Wasn't too thrilled about it. Come on, Cade, get it back together, bro. Other side of the football, there's a bright light at the end of this Bryce Young tunnel, I think.
I think there is. He's getting better.
Have you watched any of Bryce in the last 2 games since he's been benched?
I followed him a little bit. Again,
looks a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he wasn't my quarterback coming out of that draft.
CJ was.
Yeah, CJ was definitely. But you got to give these young guys some time. We're talking about the most difficult position in sports, not just football. So these guys need a little bit more time to develop.
100%. And I think that Bryce is finally starting to get it. They did announce, the team, that they will not be going after a quarterback in the offseason. They're going to go with Bryce Young next year, too.
No, he's made strides in the last couple of weeks since
good.
being benched.
And it's really funny. The only reason why he got his second chance, I don't know if you know this, but it's because Andy Dalton got into a car accident.
Wow.
Yeah, Andy Dalton
ouch.
got into a car accident, and that's why Bryce Young had to start again. And he came back in, and he's doing great. Well, not great, but he's doing better. 26 of 46, so accuracy could use some help. 298 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. Chuba, real slow day for Chuba. They started to use Jonathan Brooks a little bit more, which is, if you're a Jonathan Brooks fantasy owner, you're liking to see, because Jonathan Brooks is going to be somebody in the NFL. I'm sure of it. But Chuba, 12 carries, 43 yards. Jonathan Brooks, 6 carries, so half the amount, and he had 18 yards there. Looking at the passing game, Adam Thielen, did you see that one-handed catch he had?
Oh, yeah, dude, that was ridiculous.
Dude, Adam Thielen has this one-handed catch that is probably
Was
the
it
best.
in the end zone?
It was for a first down.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was-
But it was a crazy. He had a good catch, and his touchdown was a good catch too. But this catch, he catches it like I can't even explain it. You have to go watch it. We'll make a clip out of this. Make sure you check it out. Adam Thielen, fire catch, absolutely amazing catch.
He's honestly the guy that I wish the Steelers would have went after.
Yeah,
I
some
can see
people
that.
were against it, and I wasn't against it. I would have liked it. I think it would have liked to, help the core out. He's a very talented receiver, and yeah, he's a team guy.
Yeah, he is. There's a meme going around that says, I don't know if you remember this from SpongeBob, but it has the old reliable,
Yeah.
and it's the fishing net.
Yeah.
And you open it up, and it's just a picture of Adam Thielen inside.
That's funny.
Yeah, absolutely, dude.
He
Absolutely.
is Mr. Reliable when it comes to fantasy football, and obviously when he's playing for Bryce Young. Tommy Tremble, since Jatavion Sanders
Yes.
got knocked out with that neck injury, he is taken over as the lead tight end. He's got 5 catches, 77 yards. Leggett, a little bit quieter of a day for him. He had 4 catches, 53 yards. And then the streaming wide receiver of the week was David Moore.
Yeah.
David Moore didn't do that great. He had 5 catches, 40 yards.
He had a real bad drop.
Yeah.
A real bad
Yeah.
drop. Like,
One that could have made this
he-
game go the other way.
yeah, if he would have caught this ball, he was going to the house.
100%.
Like-
I did want to mention Bryce Young did have a rushing touchdown. I did miss that. Other than that, though, you've seen Jonathan Brooks get used a lot more in the pass game. No usage for Chuba in the pass game. So, Jonathan Brooks owners, smile. It's happening how you wanted it to. Next game we're going to cover, this was probably one of the bigger surprises for me. I honestly thought the Ravens would be able to handle the Eagles a lot better. Eagles ended up winning 24-19. I'm happy about it as a Steeler fan. I didn't want the Ravens to win.
Definitely happy about
Yeah,
it.
no.
Taking a look, we'll start with the Ravens stats. Not that terrible for Lamar. He was 23 of 36. He had 237 yards, 2 touchdowns. He ran a good bit. He had 79 yards on 8 carries. That play at the end of the game where he just weaved through everybody. I will mention this. He said after the game in his post interview, he said, "Man, I just got done getting screamed at by my mom. She was yelling at me for not running the football enough and throwing it too much." I think that's funny because that's how my mom would be if I you know what I mean? Like if I was playing professional sports, my mom would be giving me an earful after the game. I think that's great.
Mrs. Jackson.
Mrs. Jackson. Derrick Henry got plopped on his butt in this game.
Yeah, by Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, Cooper DeJean lifted him up and dropped him on the ground. That was crazy. You don't see that happen to King Henry very often.
Yep.
He had 19 carries, 82 yards.
See, with that play, though, it was finally Oh,
Yeah.
really?
You got audio still.
Oh, well, yeah,
We're
if we
good.
got audio. Hey, I'll still. If you want to see a perfect form tackle, you'll watch that clip.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how you tackle somebody. Like
From the hips.
that was the best tackle I've seen all year.
It was. Zay Flowers, 74 yards on 3 catches. Mark Andrews, best guy of the day. He had 6 catches for 67 yards and a touchdown. Isaiah Likely came back to life, had a nice touchdown towards the end of the game where he did another one of those NBA like post-ups and just caught the ball because he's taller than everybody.
I didn't even know he got
was-
a touchdown.
Yeah.
It looked effortless.
Yeah, it
Really?
looked effortless compared to
Yeah.
everyone else like jumping up. He was just
One
like,
of those
"Here it is."
annoying type of I think Mark Andrews had the same type of. Then
Yeah, he did. It was a bullet pass, and he just
yeah.
everyone else around him was like fighting for it, and it's just like his hands were magically in the right spot to just Velcro, boom.
Yeah,
That's what,
I saw.
That's
Mark
what
Andrews.
Darnell should be doing.
That's what I was just gonna say. That's what we should be doing with Darnell Washington on the Steelers.
And we have done that a few times.
Yep.
Towards the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Now we kind of leaned out of it. I want us to move back towards it, but can you complain? We've been doing so good, right?
Yeah.
44 points in the last game. Anyways, getting back on the Ravens, who we hate. They had 3 receptions for 29 yards for Derrick Henry. That was the other stat I wanted to cover for him. Looking at the Eagles, Saquon had a slow start.
He had a slow start.
He ended up getting it together towards the end of the game. Jeff, who do you think is the best running back, Saquon or?
I'll take
Derrick
Saquon.
I would
I
take
mean, and it's sad when you look at that start line, 23 carries, 100, and you're just like, and then that's crazy, you know, because
For him,
it's
yeah.
it's
'Cause
crazy.
He
for him.
usually does better than that. Jalen Hurts.
So I mean, well, you run for 250 some yards the
in
week
last
prior.
game. He had 302 last game.
Yeah.
That was his all-purpose yards.
Yeah. Yeah. Rushing yards, it was like 250 something.
Yeah,
But like, it's kind of hard to.
just redo that every week.
Yeah, it's
against
kind
the
of
Ravens.
damn near impossible, honestly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and I wouldn't say rushing yards in general, but overall, I would expect, I would be giving him the ball as much as I can as an organization.
Right.
I don't care if A.J. Brown's there or not. He's way better. He was only used twice in the pass game this week, which was a little bit different than normal. Usually he has a good bit of screenplays that are going his way. They did not do that as much this game. Jalen Hurts only threw 19 times. They were not on offense.
yeah,
very
no,
much.
they didn't have like a crazy offensive day.
They were not on offense very much. Jalen Hurts had 118 yards. Like I said, threw 19 times, had 11 completions, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. He also ran 9 times for 29 yards and had a touchdown there.
That stupid tush push.
Yeah,
Hey,
tush
that
push.
push, that tush push, man.
What do you think of the tush push?
I mean, I get it's part of the game.
Yeah.
You just, I guess stop
It's
it. Until,
annoying,
yeah,
though.
it is annoying. Absolutely.
Dallas Goedert, he had the catching touchdown this game. He had 3 catches for 35 yards. A.J. Brown, if I didn't mention it, 5 catches, 66 yards. Pretty quiet day for the offense.
Yeah, Goddard left with an injury.
Yes, and he is most likely not playing this week, too. He's
Yeah, he might
already
be.
been marked out.
Yeah,
Yeah, I imagine this was a tough loss for the Ravens.
100%.
Yeah, it wasn't like Eagles balled out on them, and it's one of those close, just physical matchup games that
Yeah, I don't
you
know.
kind of wish you come out with.
What's their schedule looking like for the rest of the year? They got the Giants this week. That's pretty easy. They play the Steelers. That's going to be hard for them, but
it's in Baltimore.
it's in Baltimore. They take on the Texans, and then they take on the Browns to end the season. That isn't the easiest schedule for
No.
the Ravens.
No.
Not as hard as the Steelers, but not that easy. Getting into the next game here, guys. This was the Snow Bowl of Sunday night.
Yeah,
And what a massacre of a game this was. We really don't even need to talk about the 49ers stats, but I got a lot of information that we have to talk about for the 49ers. First of all, they lost 2 running backs. CMC done for the season.
Ugh.
PCL injury.
Yep.
He's done. Backup, Jordan Mason. Very good.
I called that.
He's done as well. He's out for at least 4 games. You might be able to stash him on the bench. Keep him for, like, if you make it to the championship game, but I wouldn't trust that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that either.
Other news. They have signed Israel Abandakanda off of the Jets practice squad. Abandakanda, wow, that's a lot to say, Abandakanda. Abandakanda. He is a Pitt running back. He played for the Pitt Panthers. He has records at Pitt for the most rushing yards, I believe, in a season, maybe in a game, something along those lines. He was good collegiately. We'll see if he gets a chance to go with Isaiah Garendo. Those are going to be the starting 2 running backs. They'll probably use Kyle Juszczyk a lot, too. I can imagine Kyle Juszczyk is going to become a running back instead of a fullback tight end in that offense moving forward.
Maybe. I mean, really, they don't use him that much.
You might as
Like,
well. You might as
He's
well.
a
give him
great-
some,
He's
yeah.
a great fullback, though.
Mhm.
Yeah.
He was even great when he was on the Ravens too. You know what I mean? But looking at the stats, Brock under 100 yards, 11 for 18, 94 yards. Not that great. Jordan Mason played most of the game, 13 carries, 78 yards. He's out 4 games, like I said. Christian McCaffrey, 7 rushes, 53 yards. He's out for the season.
And he was warming up.
He was.
He was warming up before he got hurt, and then he got hurt. And then
Did you see his injury?
No, I did not.
Oh man, it's like one of those ones where you make the turn, and it was like Aaron Rodgers' last year, where you just watched the whole muscle in his leg pop, and you could just
dear
tell.
Lord.
You could just tell. But yeah, CMC, we wish the best for you, man. I know that you've been just going through a lot there. Juwan Jennings, 3 catches, 56 yards. He had over half of Purdy's yards. They did not get a lot done on the
So,
ground or through the air.
For Debo
Yeah,
in our league,
Yeah,
he
that-
still got double-digit points
from return.
from
yards.
return yards.
Yeah,
which
but
was wild.
How many return yards? He did have a lot.
had like
of
200
return yards.
some.
Yeah, he had 208 return yards. He also fumbled it on a return.
Yeah,
didn't
he fumbled it on return. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a bit of a
So-
sloppy game. We will cover the Bills side of things. Bills have locked up their division. They are the winners of the AFC East. No one can pass them up statistically. They ended up playing Mitch at the end of the game because of how well they were doing. Josh Allen caught his own pass for a touchdown, statistically. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see
That was a cool play.
He's just. I mean, he's a tremendous talent.
Yeah. Did you see? They did an interview at the end of the game, and they were like, "Coop, did you guys practice that play? Like, were you ready for this?" He goes, "Nah, man. I caught the ball and was like, why are you standing there? Oh, he must want the football, so I threw it back to him." And that's why that play ended up. It wasn't practiced. They'd
Yeah,
never
no,
done
it
that
wasn't.
before.
It wasn't rehearsed at all.
He was confused and seeing Josh Allen just standing there staring at him, so he threw him the ball. I think that's pretty cool. But Josh Allen, 2 touchdowns through the air, one of them to himself technically, 148 yards. James Cook had a big run.
He had a big run.
Big run, 14 carries, 107 yards and a touchdown. Backup running back, rookie Ray Davis, 11 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown. And then Josh Allen also ran for a touchdown. The Niners got wrecked in this game. Half the team's injured. Niners are still in playoff contention, but I just don't see them with what they have left being able to do so. Mac Hollins caught a catch for a touchdown, his only catch of the game. Dawson Knox was the leading wide receiver with 56 yards. And then, obviously, Josh Allen, 7 reception yards, no catches. They didn't give him a catch.
Well, because he didn't catch the ball.
I guess because it was a lateral, yeah. But he had that touchdown. That was it for that game, guys. Moving into the last night's game. That was an awesome game. This was, if you were expecting this to be one of those Monday night games that you didn't need to watch, man, you missed out if you didn't watch it. This was a good football game. All around. The whole game was good. We'll start out with the Browns side of the football. Jameis Winston, 34 of 58. He almost threw the ball 60 times last night. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. He had 497 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Obviously, that last interception coming on the last play of the game there. Just tried to squeeze it into Njoku when Njoku wasn't open, but that's kind of what Jameis is known for. He's going to sling the ball no matter what. They split carries with Nick Chubb last night and Jerome Ford. Halftime, Nick Chubb had like 6 carries for 14 yards. Wasn't looking very good. Jerome Ford ended up with 41 yards on those 9 carries. Nick Chubb ended up with 9 carries and only 21 yards. However, Nick Chubb did catch 2 passes for 24 yards and a touchdown. That saved his day. He ended up somewhere around 13 fantasy points. I played him in my flex. If he didn't get that touchdown, I wouldn't be as happy today because I would have lost. The guy I was playing against had David Njoku. And let me tell you, we've been saying week over week, David Njoku is a fantasy play, top 5 play every single week, and it keeps coming true. He had 9 catches, 52 yards, 2 touchdowns last night. Like I said, that last play that the interception happened on was also intended for him. He's a red zone target for Jameis Winston.
Yeah.
He's a start the rest
And
of the season.
Njoku was making me sweat all night.
Dude,
as well.
me too.
Like,
I always thought that once they got him, that they would use him a whole crap lot more. But you know,
and it took a while.
Took
for
a
that to
slow
happen.
start for them. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
And now they realize he is a freak.
he is.
He is. And I mean, like, I got to give it to him even in the effect that last year, do you remember he burned his face off? Do you
Oh,
remember
yeah,
that?
I do remember that.
He
Yeah,
burned his face off and played 2 weeks later with a mask on.
yeah.
That's cool as hell.
I did not remember that.
Yeah, he had a bonfire at his house, and the fire like got up on his face.
Oh,
He had like
man.
third-degree burns on his face. But yeah, David Njoku, pretty fire. Elijah Moore and Jerry Jeudy had nights. Jerry Jeudy had a career night against his old team to make it even sweeter.
Yeah.
He said he was going to kick their butts, and he did. They didn't win.
Yeah, I know they didn't win, but he did. He had that Broncos secondary in his hip pocket all night.
Yes.
He's like, "You guys are mine. I'm gonna
That's-
do whatever I want."
Here's the thing.
Disgusting. Yeah, they
Here's a-
should be ashamed of themselves.
Here's a stat that doesn't show up on the board. Jameis Winston missed him for another 70-yard
Oh
touchdown.
yeah.
He
Yep.
would have had another 70-yard touchdown, and Jameis overthrew him.
Would that have been the record for a single game?
No, I
The
think
300
the
yards?
record. No, I think the record's 314. Google that
By
for me,
Calvin.
will you?
It's Calvin Johnson.
It's Calvin Johnson, right?
Yeah,
it's like
Megatron.
304 or something like
yeah,
that.
it's like
Oh, Megatron.
we
He
actually
didn't
talked
love
about
football.
this months ago on the show.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh man, I
Yeah.
wish I had a good memory.
This is the second time this came up. Yeah, no, Megatron
Has
had
the record?
Yeah, has the record.
Okay. Well, Jerry Jeudy did have a great game. I ended up benching him. He ended up having like 37, 43, something in that range, depending on how you're.
It's on the
fantasy
ticker
league.
at the bottom of the screen.
Oh,
if
is
you're
it? Well,
watching
there
this.
it is. There we go. I don't even have to mention it. 9 receptions, 235 yards, that touchdown. And then Elijah Moore did have a good game, too. 8 catches, 111 yards for him. Other than that, not really much to talk about with them. They did have Nick Chubb catching that touchdown. Broncos
benched
side.
him?
What's that?
You benched him?
I benched
Jeudy?
Jerry Jeudy for Nick Chubb.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I know. Wasn't the best play. I did bench this guy, too. Bo Nix. I didn't play him in this game. I just felt like the Cleveland Browns defense would give them some fits.
And they did.
And they did. He was 18 of 34. This is probably one of the least, the worst statistical games for Bo Nix on the season. 18 of 34, 294 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
His first touchdown wasn't his fault. That was a great play by.
interception, you mean?
Their first interception wasn't his fault. That was a great play by Ward.
Oh,
He
yeah,
came
the
in
pop
and
up.
popped the ball
Yes.
up, and it was caught. And Newsom caught it off the
Yeah.
deflection.
100%. There was
Classic
also
tip drill.
an interception that got overturned. He had a third interception.
Oh, really?
Yes, and it got returned for a touchdown.
Oh, I did see
But
that.
there was some sort of penalty that undid it. I would have lost my fantasy week if that would have happened. Thank you, referees. Appreciate you. Jaleel McLaughlin was the guy who totes the ball for the Broncos this week. We've been talking about this every week. The Broncos have this thing that they do where Sean Payton says every single running back is going to get 1 carry on the first set of downs. Whichever one gets the most yards, you're the starting running back for today.
Is that an actual thing?
That's literally
an
what
actual
happens.
thing.
That's
Wow.
literally what happens every week. Last week, it was Javonte Williams. The week before, it was Audric Estime. This week, it's Jaleel McLaughlin. He had 14 carries, 84 yards. Estime, 3 rushes for 12. And then Javonte shut down 4 rushes, only had 1 yard. And it was for a touchdown. Of course.
Yeah, of course it was for a touchdown.
Their fullback,
And then
Michael Burton,
Michael
he
Burton.
also scored a touchdown.
Yes.
He also got injured the very next play. Mike, hope you're okay, man. Fullbacks don't get a lot of love in this league, so we'll give you some love, buddy. Marvin Mims, I bet on him last night.
Did you?
Oh, my God, I can't believe it. I
You
was
win money
like,
from it?
Yeah.
Nice.
I said Marvin Mims, touchdown. Marvin Mims over 27 reception yards. Marvin Mims did both of those. He had 3 receptions, 105 yards, and a touchdown. He also ran once for 4 yards. Cortland Sutton, week over week, we've been saying it. He's really
He's
good.
good.
He's really good with Bo Nix.
Yeah.
Really good. He had 6 receptions for 102 yards, no touchdowns for him. Troy Franklin, who did not have a good statistical day, 2 catches for 28 yards, was targeted 1 billion times and literally.
And like deep too.
Yeah, and literally did not catch any of them. They are missing Tim Patrick. They could use a Tim Patrick back on this team.
They could, yeah.
But other than that, Devon Vele, who is somebody that I've been highlighting each week, he did not have a very good game. 1 catch for 16 yards. That covers our recap for the week. Real quickly, let's take a look at this Packers-Lions NFC North game, and then we'll pop into a quick break, and we'll come back and do some Q&A. So for this game, I want to ask, who you got? Who do you think wins this?
In Detroit, yeah, I'm taking Detroit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Because it is in Detroit, I'm giving it to Detroit. I think that Detroit and Pittsburgh are probably 2 hardest places to win a football game this season. What do you think, Ben?
I'm gonna go with the Packers on this one.
Are you?
Yeah, because the Lions have their linebackers
Are all injured.
are all injured.
Rodriguez went out this week
Rodriguez got hurt this week.
Anzalone.
Anzalone's out. Hutchinson has been out. You know, he broke his leg earlier this year.
And Zadarius Smith only plays like half the plays. He ends up getting like
he's not that. He's good, but he needs
he's old.
He's old, but he also needs other pieces around him.
100%.
He's never been like a Myles Garrett or a TJ Watt, like that guy who can do it all.
No, he had that 1 year with the Packers where he was really good, but other than that,
yeah. So I think with their injuries at linebacker, I think the Packers can move the ball offensively.
do you think this is on the back of Josh Jacobs if they win that game then? Excuse me.
Yes, actually.
Yeah, I think it's a Josh Jacobs day too. Guys, I have your Wombo Combo bet for Thursday Night Football here. As soon as my phone allows it. We have Josh Jacobs catching the ball for 16 yards. I have Jahmyr Gibbs catching the ball for 20 yards. And then I have Josh Jacobs anytime touchdown. That is a plus 550 bet. Like I say, put $5 down on the Thursday game, win $30. Use that $30 to bet on the Sunday games. Don't waste your money. Only make one bet. So run with me. We'll see if we get it. I obviously have been about 50-50 on my bets. But this week I was real good. I won them all. I'm the big money winner.
Yeah.
But so let me know if you guys follow along. If you take that bet, I think that this game is a big game for, like you said, Josh Jacobs. I think that Jaden Reed also becomes a bigger part of the plan again. They've been trying to get him the ball. Christian Watson, you're the Christian Watson guy. What do you say this week? Does he do something? Or does he do nothing? I think he does something. Too hard to guess?
Yeah, it's too up and down for him. So it's just, I mean, maybe, but it's the same with Jamison Williams.
Yeah, they're the same exact.
They're the same.
Super fast, but they need the ball, and it has to be a perfectly placed pass for them to be able to do something with it.
Yeah.
So, if you were doing fantasy in this game, would you rather have Jared Goff or would you rather have Love?
Jared Goff.
Yeah, I think I would rather have Jared Goff in this game as well. I think if we're looking at some starters on the Packers side of the football that we can for sure say there'd be good starts for you, I think that Tucker Kraft's a good start at tight end. I think that Josh Jacobs is obviously a great start at running back, probably running back one this week in fantasy football for maybe not running back one, but he is an RB one is what I meant to say.
I still like Love at quarterback.
I like Love as a quarterback too. I think there's better matchups. This defense is hard to play against. He wouldn't be my number one option here. I would probably lean Goff over Love. Would you? Or would you take Love?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm taking Love over
You're
Goff.
taking Love?
Yeah.
Okay. He's taking Love. He's taking Goff. I'm taking Goff. That's where we're running with quarterbacks. Running backs, I think that all three of the running backs are plays. That's Jacobs. That's Gibbs. That's Monty. I think you can play all three of them. Wide receiver-wise, guys, I think you can look at Amon-Ra St. Brown. I think Jaden Reed's a good play. If you need it for the super bye week, Christian Watson might be an all right play, or J-Mo Williams.
Both guys are like a desperate flex wide receiver 3 play.
Yeah, that's what I would rank them as well. And I also think that Tucker Kraft is a better play than Sam Laporta in this game. Was there anything else you wanted to cover with this one?
No, we nailed it.
Okay. Awesome. Well, hey, guys, if you were watching with us today here on YouTube or listening on Spotify, really appreciate it. I hope you're subscribed. Make sure you pop that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Until the next one, we will see you. Peace out. Have a great week, guys.